Good afternoon, good evening, everybody. My name is Shelly, and I'm so glad to meet you. I'm so glad that you're here. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Today, I thought it would be kind of fun to compare the new Natasha Denona Puff Paint Liquid Blushes with what I suspect might be a dupe of the Flower Beauty Blush Bombs. What do they call those? Yeah, blush bombs. So I had one already, that one. I picked up two more. I'll have to see how I did as far as color matching goes, but I thought I would try them just as an alternative. They're a little bit of a less expensive price point than the Natasha Denona ones. These are $22, which is actually, frankly, not horrible for a high-end brand. I think there's a lot of other cream blushes, liquid blushes out there that are significantly more expensive. So for fun, I just thought I would go with the Flower Beauty because I already had one of them, and I'm like, I wonder how close these are. So kind of skid in here a little bit more. I'll tell you what I've got going on my face already. I do have the Natasha Denona Magic Primer. I saw a masterclass video where she used this in one of her tutorials, one of her masterclasses, and I was like, why don't I have that? Why does that look like magic? Hence the name Magic Primer. I don't get anything in PR, so I'm not sponsored. Nobody's paying me to say that. I just really like it. And then to kind of stick with the theme, I also grabbed my Flower Beauty Get Real Serum Foundation. I like serum foundations. This to me is very similar to the e.l.f. Serum Foundation as well. I like both of them interchangeably. I like serum foundations for ladies of a certain age because I think we can actually bring it up a little higher because it's not full foundation. It's not a full coverage foundation. I think it works a little bit better underneath those eye creases and crinkles. I did take a little bit of the Bare Minerals powder foundation just to cover up some spots. I do have like a scratch on my forehead and it covers it up so well you wouldn't even know it was there. For no other reason than I got my fingernail and dug it into my forehead. Not what I would recommend. My absolute favorite mini 5-pan eyeshadow palette is a Natasha Denona Star. This is a mini star palette. If I were had to leave quickly and they said you could take one 5-pan palette with you, what would it be? It would be the mini star. This is what I'm wearing today. I have all but, actually I think I have 4 of the 5 shadows on my eyes. And I love this. I think this gives me so much everyday wearable. The neutrals work well. I love this. This has everything I need because it really does have your transition shade matte. It has your darker, crease or smoke out your eye matte. And then it's got 3 shimmers that are all absolutely beautiful. Can't say this enough. I'm going to do another video. I'm going to work on another video. I don't know if it'll come up before or after this on 5-pan palettes or smaller pan palettes, maybe quads. So stay tuned for that. And then I also do have a little bit of bronzer because you probably wear bronzer. Not necessarily, but you could. So right now I've got the Pure Bronzer. This is Mineral Glow Bronzing Powder, and it doesn't give me a shade. So it just happened to be what was conveniently located. I have like, in my little filming area, I have some of the things that I know just always work that I just reach for. So I was like, oh shoot, I didn't bring in a bronzer. I have one. And my light adjusted, I think because I looked down or it got dark and then it adjusted for light. So not a professional YouTuber, not a professional makeup artist either. Hey, let's get into these. So here's the puff paints from Natasha Denona. This is the first one in tan. And I can tell you what I love about these puff paints, and I've mentioned it before, and I know, Gina, you don't like the name puff for anything you put on your face. Like, who would? This is Daria. My thought on these is these are a serum blush. So they have all kinds of like good skincare ingredients inside. I honestly think these would be fantastic for the summer or when you're not really, like you've got a lot of color because you've been outside. Maybe if you have like, your skincare and then maybe you have to conceal little spots, but for the most part you're going relatively barefaced. Let your freckles show, whatever else. I think these go great over that, but I've actually not had any problems with them over any of the products that I've tried. I've tried the Fenty Eavesdrops. I've tried the Urban Decay Hydromaniac. Right now I'm doing the Flower Beauty. I think that there's just a lot of products that I think people are wearing right now that the products actually go on very well. So those are the 3 puff paints. I'm gonna grab, so this is the original Flower Blush Balm that I had. This one is in shade Pinched. Put a little of this right here because I think that's kind of the one that it is probably closer to. With the application being a little different, I can tell you and I'm not looking for exact matches with color, similar shades maybe, but not, I wasn't intending to find like exact dupes. I just kind of wanted to compare the two and give you guys information just in case, you know, you were interested in one, but you have access to the other. How does it stack up? How does it compare? Is one better than the other? I'm just sharing with you guys so that you guys don't have to do the trial and error part. Okay, the next one, and I'm just opening this up for the first time. So this one here is called Melon. So far, so good with the colors, right? Like, I feel like I'm doing pretty good. This is so satisfying. It hasn't even been used yet. Okay, so there's our Melon. The blush balms seem a little more liquidy, but I think that might be too just the application. Like it doesn't have the little foam tip doe foot applicator like the puff paints do. Okay, and this is the one that's probably not anywhere near the color. This is Cinnamon. It looked like it might match kind of on the website, but now I'm thinking it's probably not red or not purple enough. Nope. It is kind of more of a darker of the tan. Well, actually that might work out really well for a couple different reasons. The main one is I think that the Flower Beauty pinched one is too light for me. I don't think it shows up very well at all. And I do think that the darker one might be similar to the tan. So I'm excited. And then I think I actually did a pretty good job with the Melon and the Daria. They're not, I mean, they're different, but they're not horrible. And then this Dark Bloom one, you know, I didn't love it at first in the quads, the cream blush quads, the Bloom by the same name, but I think I've developed more of an appreciation for it. So I don't know, let's just play with some liquid blushes, some serum blushes, and let's see how they do. So I'm going to start with, actually, you know what, just for fun, I'm going to start with the blush balm in Pinched, so that you guys can kind of see what I mean by it being very, very light. I'm gonna grab a corner of a Damp Beauty sponge here. And again, I do have that bronzer on. So it's given me just a slight tinge, but almost nothing. Let's try it with a brush. I'm gonna put some in the back of my hand so I can pick it up a little bit more. It does dry down beautifully, so there's that. Put some with my brush. I do like the texture when it dries down. And I think that if you're someone who does a slight blush and not like an over abusive blush, this is actually really, really pretty. I've heard a lot of good things about it. I think it came up as a recommendation from you guys as well. I did use it in my Flower Beauty video, which I'll try to remember to link somewhere in here. Or in the comments down below. I might pin it if I forget, like I've done before. Okay, so I'm gonna let that dry down a little bit. Let's go over and grab the tan puff paint and apply it directly over here first. This is one that I've really felt applies better with a brush, but when I've used this before with a Damp Beauty sponge, I think the sponge has been too moist, this is an awkward word, too damp. Do they look about the same to you? I don't know what to do. Okay, I'm gonna go in with just the Cinnamon of the Flower Beauty. I'm gonna grab that up here. And that one I have still on the back of my hand from when I swatched it, and it's still very damp. So let's see how this works here. I'm just grabbing a little bit of it, a little bit more than I needed. It almost has a bronzer look on my skin, doesn't it? Okay, I think that kind of darkened things up a little tiny bit. Let's grab a little bit more on brush. See, I think a brush is the way to apply these, you guys. At least the lighter colored ones, because I think you get a little bit more product and a little bit more saturation than you do with the Beauty Blender. I think I got a little carried away here. It's pretty. It's a little yellow maybe. You guys, I've been playing more with orange blush. Crazy to think about it. Okay, so, you know, this is obviously darker than I think I originally started here with the puff paint, but I'm going to put another layer on and use a brush to diffuse this time, because that's what I've been doing and that's what I really like. And then all of a sudden I'm a lot closer of a match, I think, just by switching. Now that's two different colors in the blush bombs. Now I'm just mixing the two of them together. Okay, let's go into the bright shade. This is the Melon shade from the Flower Beauty. So I'm going to go back onto my swatch. I must have swatched a lot because it did not dry down on that at all. Okay, I'm going to pick up a little bit tip of my beauty sponge, just kind of work it into placement here. This is not a shade that I would have thought that I would have liked, and how pretty does that look? You know what I like about this? It's not like that Rare Beauty one, which I felt like lifted up my foundation. I'm wearing the lightest amount of foundation. The Serum foundation with a little bit of that powder foundation over, like I've got a little bit of over this sun damage right here, and it hasn't brought attention to that sun damage at all. My skin just feels glowy, and not in a shiny way, but just like healthy. Okay, let's do a direct application on the Daria Natasha Denona side. Find an unsullied portion of my beauty sponge. I love the way these feel on your skin. Like I said, it feels like you're using good for you skincare products. Okay, for light perspective here, I do have a ring light. It's probably turned up a little bit more. My camera is right set in the center on an auto light adjusting. And I do have one box light off to the side, but it's pointing at the wall behind me just to kind of brighten it up back there so it's not quite so dark. If that helps you kind of determine. But when I look in my mirror and when I look in the viewfinder, this maybe has a little bit more color saturation than this one does. I went in with the lightest amount though. Let's do a little bit more in the brush on this side. See if we can't get a match. I do feel like the Flower Beauty formula feels really good. So if you guys already have that in your arsenal, maybe don't buy the Natasha Denona one. If you don't have it, and I think that the Flower Beauty ones, if you pay full price for them, they're like 10 bucks. You could literally get 2 of those for the cost of one of the Natasha Denona ones. And then some. You guys see how pretty that is on my skin? It just feels so healthy. I don't know what that is though. Let's see that on the camera. My skin just doesn't look dry. It doesn't look oily. I just feel like it looks really pretty. This is maybe slightly more pink than this one is, but it could be the way we started too with the products. Okay, the only other product I have from the Natasha Denona is the Bloom one, and I didn't get a good match on the Flower Beauty, so we're just gonna skip that one. Let me grab a mirror here. Let's look. Let's assess. So I feel like on the Natasha side, boy, that mirror is really dirty. I feel like, no, not even that. Maybe the Natasha side is slightly glowier. Like I've got a slightly more of a, travel for my mascara. I've got a slight more of like a sheen on it. Kind of like when you first put on skincare before it's absorbed maybe. This one I feel like it's drying down a little bit more matte. Maybe that makes a difference to you guys. I don't know. Should I wear both blushes today and see if anybody knows that I'm wearing 2 different blushes? Maybe. All right, you guys. I hope you guys are doing really well. I'm going to clean up my mess here. Tell me what you guys think. I know I've done a couple videos now with blush serums because I was so stinking excited about them. I think that they work equally well over foundation so far that I've seen. I think that the Rare Beauty liquid blushes, I think work better over powders, which is so weird to think about putting cream products or liquid products over the top of powders, but I really do feel like that's the key for me to be able to use the Rare Beauty blushes. Actually, the little round pot I gave to my daughter, I'm just like, I can't wear it. Every time I put it on, it lifted whatever was underneath it. It just, if you don't wear makeup and you just want a little makeup, maybe that's okay. But for me, I'm somebody who, I wear makeup. I love makeup. I love makeup. I wouldn't be here if I didn't love makeup. Maybe you love makeup as well. So anyway, these ones, yeah, I say these are every bit as fun as these ones for half the price. I hate to say that. If you're a lover of high-end stuff and you've got the coin, do the Natasha Denona ones. If you want to save some money but you want the experience of a serum blush, Flower Beauty. All right, you guys, not sponsored, not affiliated, not endorsed. I get nothing in PR. I'm just sharing my love of makeup with you guys, and I hope you guys like it. I hope you guys like it enough to want to stick around, hit that little subscribe button. And yeah, we're growing slowly but surely, our little community of ladies of a certain age, and everybody else who loves ladies of a certain age, you are all welcome. Yeah, I hope you guys are doing really well, and until my next video, bye for now.